I mean, what I imagine, you don't touch your friends, I don't touch them in that way. I don't like, oh, how you doing, Corey? Oh, Corey, big hug. Oh, Corey, oh, yeah, I'm just going to nuzzle right in there. Just going to nuzzle right in there in the crook of that neck and just enjoy this. Like, no. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games, I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. But now, my friends, we're going to go ahead and get to the main portion, at least a big portion of the stream, which is my review chat for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings chat. Now, before we go ahead and get into this review, again, with no spoilers, I'm not doing any spoilers, chat. It's just going to be my general thoughts on the film itself. I'm going to be very, very careful. I do want to ask you a question. That question being, how many of you have already seen Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, chat? Believe her, goddamn Shang-Chi. Am I saying that right? Shang-Chi. I don't know how to fuck. Shang-Chi. There you go. No one woman says, nope. Your ex saw it last night. Lately, I loved it. Corsairs, not yet. I'm seeing it Monday or Tuesday. Now you bring who? Good old Sean. Plan to, but not yet. Glee. When Vox movie was great. I watch again sometime this month. Hate. Nope. I did not. No one waiting for Disney Plus. Big Homie, I'm seeing it Monday. One saw it earlier today because my viewers haven't seen it. Sean. I'm gonna call him Shane. I can't. There's a scene in the movie where he's literally like, "This is how you say my fucking name," and I'm like, "That's what I'm saying." Yeah, I just feel like saying it right. Shang-Chi. I'm saying it right. Going out of town, so I won't get to see it, says JV. I'm planning to see it tomorrow morning. Cassie, not yet. He's like, I have seen it today, and my brain is fried. See, man, haven't seen it yet. Would gladly pay $30 to see it on Disney Plus. Theaters are scary for me. I get you. Well, but for yes, I have enjoyed it more than Black Widow. Too Tall says Shang-Chi. Why did you just put a U in there? God damn it. Whatever. Whatever, Chad. Vowels. A-E-I-O-U. All right. Sometimes Y. We'll see, Chad. Langley saw it 6 p.m. yesterday. Very specific. First showing and first time in theater since Rise of fucking Skywalker. There you go. Shane Soon, right? Now, I have a question. All right? We don't call him Shun Soon. We call him Shane Soon. So why do I got to call this other guy Shun-Chi? All right? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You're canceled. What do you mean I'm canceled? What do you mean? How am I canceled? They're said the same. They're spelled the same way. They call him Shane Soon. I know they don't call him Shun Soon. They say his name is Shane Soon. I know what his name is. I think never don't care. That's probably it too. Actually, the third act, Shang-Chi, excuse me, because the third act of Black Panther, T'Challa is one of my fave characters. And T'Challa is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. We'll talk about chat. Well, you know what? Let's go and get into it. So a little bit of background chat. Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings is based off the Marvel 70s comic book series, The Master of Kung Fu, chat, where the character of Shang-Chi is the son of the criminal warlord, chat, Fu Manchu. Not originally the Mandarin, chat, although will be in other adaptations of the character, chat, and other stories later on, once Marvel lost the rights to Fu Manchu later on in the decades, chat. But this comic book was created during the craze of the kung fu subgenre, chat, throughout the 70s and early 80s. The character of Shang-Chi. I was never really too familiar with this character. I knew of them. I knew that he had his fans, but I never read any comics featuring the character. I other than like just, what people have described him, how in recent years they've changed it where instead of his father being Fu Manchu, which they can't do anymore because one, they don't own the character, the other one being it's racist. They changed the Mandarin, which I thought that was pretty cool. What's his name? The Mandarin's the Mandarin's real name, Wenwu Cha. So I was aware of that. Outside of that, knew nothing about the character. I know he was always described as he's the best hand-to-hand fighter in the Marvel Universe, chat. Better than Captain America, better than Daredevil, better than Wolverine, things. I was like, that's pretty goddamn cool. But I never read anything with him. Rather obscure. I guess he is kind of rather obscure for a Marvel character. Again, he was very popular in the 70s and early 80s and kind of fell off. And it was interesting because when I went to go see the movie today at the Elmo Draft House, by the way, fantastic theater chain. I recommend checking out if you've not done so. They did like this. They had like what I love about the Draft House is like unlike a lot of theater chains, they actually show you stuff before the movie that is actually interesting and fun. And so they were basically showing like a documentary about not only like just kung fu movies in general, talking about the Shaw Brothers, chat, all sorts of these films like, Asian American cinema, all the way from like the 19-teens to now. And obviously, doing the kung fu craze, mixed martial arts craze of the 70s and 80s and how that progressed into like the 90s and introducing, actors like Tony Leung, chat, and going back and covering other people like, Bruce Lee. But they also did like a documentary on Shang-Chi and just in his history. I was like, this is interesting. And it was like, oh, this is actually perfect because I'm like, now I feel like I know a little bit more about the character before we go ahead and start watching. So I really like just the previews. Talk about the preview stuff. Very well done. Draft House is not skimp on that kind of shit. I guess they have some kind of the production team that puts all these together. And of course you have the little fun previews, but it's like, this is presented by the Elmo Draft House, produced by so-and-so, the Elmo Draft House. Like, that was pretty goddamn cool. So if you see it at the Elmo Draft House, chat, you're in for a treat into several little mini documentaries talking about this character and just Asian American cinema for like the past 100 years, really, from the silent film era, chat, and also just, these kung fu films, now they've changed and been shaped over time for the past like 5 decades. So it's really interesting. But overall, I'll tell you what, chat. Starting out from the top, we're going to start with the good stuff, chat. The stuff I really, really enjoyed. And I think like everyone else, has been coming out of this movie. There are definitely two character people like, I just love them. I want to see more of them in the MCU and them just together. And that really is, I hope I'm saying this name correctly, but Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, and of course Awkwafina, who plays Katie. These two are a hell of a fucking dynamic duo, chat. I mean, I just love it because they're so content. Because when we meet Shang-Chi, he's not the master of Kung Fu, okay? He's not going around, fighting people or supervillains or fighting against his father just yet, chat. He's been on the lam for 10 years and just kind of living like a lump, living like a schmuck, chat, hanging out with Awkwafina. They're valets in San Francisco, chat, driving fast cars. They're going out and getting drunk. They're doing karaoke, chat, hanging out with friends who have actually made something of their lives and, and who've moved beyond being like a valet or having like a specific job. And I just love their chemistry. Like, that's the thing. It's like instantly, like they're just so good together and they bounce off each other just really well. It's like, whenever time they're like on screen together, that's when the movie I think is really at its strongest personally. And yeah, I love them both. Now they set up like, well, we're not, because there's this wonderful sequence in the film. I won't get into too many details, but where Sean, he goes to visit. And by the way, actually, I don't want to spoil, but all I'll say is Shang-Chi, he may be the master of Kung Fu, but he ain't the fucking master of subtlety, chat, because what he actually changes his name, he changed his name to go into hiding, but it's like, you didn't fucking change your name at all. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I thought that was very funny. You're like, Sean, his name is Sean. It's like, how is that different than Sean? It's so similar. And she's like, you're a fucking idiot. And he's like, I know. And I like that. So it's kind of like, yeah, let's, Luke Skywalker, even though we're not going to change your name. Not going to do that and put you with, two people on Tatooine that Anakin / Darth Vader is very much aware of and that exists in things, but nah, out of sight, out of mind. So that was very funny. But there's like a great scene when he goes to visit her family, which I thought was like really, really cute. And it reminded me of a movie that I'm a really big fan of. I always encourage people to check this out. It came out in 2019, The Farewell, which Awkwafina also starred in, which was about, where, they're going to visit the matriarch of the family, this grandmother who is apparently dying of cancer, and they all get together and you deal with the dysfunction, the humor, and it was great. And it brought a little bit of the farewell into the MCU, and I really liked that. But then everyone at the table is like, yeah, okay, I know, you're all about, yeah, you're friends, sure. And that's the one thing, I'm watching this movie, and it's like, yeah, I don't think... Because they know, there's not a scene where they're like, they start kissing and stuff, but they're like very handsy. They're like very, like, they're very, you know... they're touching each other like all the time. Not in a sexual, I guess not in a sexual way, but it's a super intimate way. Where I'm like, okay, listen, I know you have like that's his best friend, and that's her best friend. But I'm like, they are constantly just like holding each other like this, putting their heads on each other like this throughout the movie. This is all here, high school stuff. Is this high school stuff? I don't know. It's just no, they're not friends with benefits. It's not. I mean, now they might be, but the fact that they're just constantly touching each other, it was like, all right, this is kind of weird to me, you know. But to say that, we're just totally platonic friends. I'm like, I don't think totally platonic friends are just that kind of handsy, you know. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, what I imagine, you don't touch your friends, I don't touch them in that way. I don't like, how you doing, Corey? Corey, big hug. Corey, yeah, I'm just gonna nuzzle right in there. Just gonna nuzzle right in there in the crook of that neck and just enjoy this. Like, no. No, I don't know anyone that does that. Me and my friends are very handsy. Okay, fair. Okay, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the weirdo then. Maybe I'm the weirdo, chat. But it didn't bother me at all. I thought it was cute. I thought it was really cute. And I think, eventually, like, if these two start, being romantically involved, it's like, yeah, no shit. Of course you are. Of course you're going to be romantically involved with each other. That's what everyone would expect. I mean, but it would work. If they want to transition over to a romantic relationship, but still have the dynamic that they have, I'm like, that'd be perfect. That's one of the best. If that does happen, Shang-Chi and Katie will be one of, if not the best couple in the MCU, because they just bounce off each other so well. Every time they're on screen together and they're having just a nice back and forth, it works really, really well for me. So I love both of them. Did a great job throughout the film, chat. Even when Simu Liu has to give him like, okay, I gotta deliver some fucking exposition to you, but they do it in some fun ways. They have a whole exposition scene with flashbacks and stuff, and it's dark and it's gritty, and it's like, oh man, there's magic bullshit. But there's something that cuts into it, is all I'll say. I thought that was pretty funny. I dug that. The other positive thing about this, Chad, is Tony Leung. Mixed martial artist, of course, from China. Famous leading man, not only for action films, but romantic movies. And this guy's a fucking heartthrob, Chad. And he's a fucking handsome man to have, Chad. I'll tell you that. He's already a handsome man, but also an additional half on top of it. He looks great. And he plays Wenwu, the Mandarin, chat. He's a man of many names. They only mentioned that, like, someone called me the Mandarin. Or someone, there's some Iron Man 3 references which are pretty interesting. But I will say this about Tony Leung. The movie opens up with him, and you learn his whole history, the power of the Ten Rings, or we learn a little bit about the Ten Rings. Ten Rings are very complicated. Like, I kind of have a general, ancillary knowledge of them from the comics. Like, it's like, well, it's a mixture of magic and alien technology, and this guy, when we found them and used them for open, they have different powers and shit. They're doing something very different with these, which I think is really cool, and it's clearly they're going to be doing other interesting things with them in the future, which I'm excited about. But back to Tony Leung's character, I just like how they explored his history, what he was doing for all these years, all these decades, if you will. And when he finally gets to this point in his criminal empire and the Ten Rings, I just appreciate how the Ten Rings has been in existence since the inception of the MCU, and they do a great job of establishing why they've been so fucking successful. Like, they just lived. Because you look at all these other criminal organizations, in all the, AIM or Hydra, they've either died or they're in shambles. Like, it exists, and there's a very good reason for that. It's because he's been around for a while, which I liked how they established that, and he's just competent. Like, the Ten Rings, they just continue to exist, and they have thousands of cells. Like, they're pretty much, the most successful criminal organization in the MC, which I thought was really interesting. And, of course, on Tony Leung's performance, he's just so fucking smooth. I mean, he feels like one of those Chinese gangsters from, one of those 90s kung fu films. He just does that so well, and it's like he's an asshole, but it's like, okay, you're a dick. Like, you're a dick, but you're just good at what you do, and you're competent, and you're not. He never gets like super angry. Like, he's always cool and calm and collected. And he's probably because he's a sociopath. I mean, that's definitely it. But he's not one of those villains who's like, I will destroy you, Shang-Chi, and I will lay waste to this. Like, he doesn't do anything like that. You know, there is some, prototypical, villain shenanigans they have him doing. Some weak stuff, I will say. But his performance, he does a great job. Even maybe when some of the material doesn't serve him well. Like, there's a whole thing, like, in the third act with him. Really, it's established in the second and third act. Where I'm like, okay, this is kind of fucking weird. That doesn't work for me. This is kind of weird. I want to go into more details about it, but it's spoiler territory. And so I want to be careful. But I will say, the reasons for him doing what he does in the film, like his big fucking plan, it just like, okay, I guess it's all right. I mean, it doesn't really work for me, especially when you learn about this guy and how long he's been around for, and how already very intelligent. Let's just say that he has hundreds and hundreds of years of knowledge and just accumulating this empire of his. And I thought that was interesting. He's like Negan. No, he's not like Negan. He's not saying it's pee pants city. Nothing like that. Yeah, Smile C one's of the scare. Yeah. I also love the new interpretation of the Ten Rings. I think it works better than the actual Harry. No, I like the Ten Rings. We don't know a lot about them, but they're hinting at certain stuff. And I think it's kind of cool. And we say stay for the post-credit scene. I didn't. So I guess there's two. I only stayed for the first one, and the first one was pretty cool. Like, they established something that, okay, well, something's fucking coming. Something is calling this is someone or something, and we don't know what it is yet. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I also say there is another character in this movie which is a big surprise. And what they do with this character, some people don't like it. Some people are like, I didn't really care for it. Other people are like loving it. I'm on the side of like, I'm loving what they're doing with this other character here. I can't get into spoilers because this person has not been in any of the marketing. They're listed in the cast, like on Wikipedia. But again, the fact they haven't been any marketing or really the promotional materials, I don't want to say who they are, but they're really funny. And it's a great callback to early stuff that we see in the MCU. And it also does a good job of addressing... It does a good job of addressing something people didn't like early on in the MCU. And I was like, I appreciate that. I really liked it, and it worked. And this person worked well within the group, especially with Awkwafina and Simu Liu. I really like their whole dynamic, and I don't know if they'll ever bring this person back again. This might be like a send off, but if they ever do a Shun Tsung sequel, I would like to see this person come back because I thought they were pretty fun. I will say they definitely give this character like, hey, this is like they're better off where they are right now. It's like, hey, here you go. Here's a nice send off for this character. That was pretty cool. So you'll see. Again, I'm not gonna say people already know. You might already know what I'm talking about. Lanley was hilarious. That's all I'll say right now. I agree. It was hilarious. I like what they did with that character. Moving on to some of the other things I really like. The fight choreography is great. Obviously, this is heavily inspired by, so many kung fu films, Chad. The Shaw Brothers, Bruce Lee, a lot of the 90s action films. If you've seen like a kung fu action film, something like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or anything that is of the that is equivalent, using like that kung fu kind of wire work fight scenes. That's all on fucking full display. You have that. You have more grounded kung fu battles, chat. There are several battles in this film I thought were really well choreographed. The one on the bus, which you see in all the trailers, the one on the bamboo shoots in the side of the building, that's all fucking cool and it looks great. There is definitely, someone watched Rush Hour 2. There is straight up Rush Hour 2 references in this movie, and I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I thought that was fun. And then when they get to the more fantastical stuff, like, again, the choreography is still very good. There are scenes that feel reminiscent of something like Avatar: The Last Airbender. A lot of things like moving with air and, controlling like just the winds and how you can hit someone with that. Like, I really like that. That was really cool. Using the elements, basically, wind and water, especially. I thought that was pretty cool and how that worked. So all the fight choreography, even when it gets like really crazy, especially towards the end of the movie at the third act, where it's like fucking monsters and CGI shit. Like I like the choreography and everyone's like fighting each other and using different types of weapons. And I will say how the rings are used in combat, really fucking cool. So it's not just I'm blasting you with the rings. You can do all sorts of fucking things with the rings. They're literally like, I don't know if the director. Let's give a shout out to the director, chat, because I'm not too familiar with this director. Destin Daniel Cretton, who is an Asian American filmmaker. He's done Short Term 12, The Glass Castle, and Just Rouge. I have not seen these films. But yeah, again, I think he does a pretty good job for the most part. But back on the 10 Rings. What do you do with the 10 Rings? Very interesting. It's not just blasting people. There are I don't know if he might be inspired. The director must be inspired by Dragon Ball. Because at the end of this movie, there's some Dragon... If you ever wanted... For those of you who ever wanted a Dragon Ball Z, like, realized live-action film, this is probably the closest you're ever going to get to it. Because the last act of this movie, it's Dragon Ball Z, and somebody might be turned off by that. I mean, there is Kamehameha stuff in here. That's all I'll say. There is Gallican. And, hey, for those of you who are like, yes, this is what I wanted a DBZ movie for so long. This is what I want it to be. It's realized. Then, hey, you're in for some a fucking treat. And if you ever want to see Shenron in the movie, in a movie, you got it. You're gonna get a Shenron. So that was pretty cool. There is the. We'll get to the third act, because I can go back and forth. I didn't hate the third act. I don't know if people are really down the third act right now. I didn't hate it. It is not something blowing up in the sky. It is not a blue light beam going up there, and but it does. It's a little weak, especially because the true villain is evil itself. That's what it is. It's that's not even. It's not even the manner. It's just evil, which is boring to me. But what they did with the evil, I thought was pretty cool. I liked it. It's a lot of CGI, but it introduces something to the MC which we haven't really seen. We've seen it in maybe something a similar let's just big budget movies. All I'll say is monsters. You ever want a giant monster battle? All right, you're gonna get one. Which I actually didn't mind. I thought that was pretty cool. And just overall, I think the action was handled very well. Again, from the more grounded stuff to the more fantastical stuff. Like I wasn't really bothered by it when they transitioned. I mean, there's some stuff is like I'm just seeing a lot of CGI on screen, and like that's not real grass, and these guys are literally just behind a green screen right now. But it wasn't so bad. It didn't bother me to the point where I was taken out of it. Thankfully, I just liked so many of the characters, and I was already kind of digging it. So it didn't have like so much of a negative impact on me. I mean it's good looking CGI is all I'll say. It's good looking CGI. They also introduce a very cute and cuddly character, and people are again very divided on this character, saying like I hate that fucking character. It's just there to sell toys. And yes, it is. It clearly is. Or other people are just saying it's fucking cute and adorable. I love it whatever it does. I'm like, I'm on the side of this thing it's so cute, but also kind of fucking weird at the same time. And I was just digging it. I like the cute and cuddly character that we get introduced to, chat. I want to say more how they're involved or who they're teamed up with throughout most of the movie, but I really fucking liked them. I really liked that character and what that character was doing with somebody else in the film. Very, very fun. More of the average stuff. That's the stuff I thought was really working for the movie. More of the average stuff, like the score. I know it's influenced by a lot of East Asian films and again kung fu movies, but I don't know what Shang-Chi's theme is. I wouldn't know off the top of my head. Like I have to listen to the score, but the music didn't really stand out for me, Chad. It didn't stand out for me like like a Captain America movie or an Avengers film or anything like that, or even Spider-Man. He doesn't have a theme that's like, oh, that Shang-Chi's coming in. It's like I was like, yeah, that didn't, it's okay. It served the movie competently, but overall, I couldn't even fucking Hotel California. I mean, definitely Hotel California. Yes, that is if Shang-Chi has a fucking theme, it is Hotel California. Chat. Now, this is it's not like Black Panther's score. Yeah, Black Panther I'd also put up there as a fantastic score. Like it's not that. It's not that. It doesn't stand out. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad score. It's good. It's competent, but it does. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't stand out. And then we get some of the more the bad stuff. One of these things I already covered before, but the movie does have some pacing issues, and it's the stuff like from Act 2 to Act 3, and the transitioning between those. It just feels like, okay, we're not really fucking doing much here. And it's kind of the whole it's like you see like in many other action films or westerns or kung fu movies or even samurai films. It's like it's literally the Magnificent Seven. We gotta train the village. The village has to get prepared to fight the evil. And it's like, we're just taking all these fucking time. We're talking about the past, and people are just telling us. They're not really showing us, and it's like, it's kind of boring. Kind of boring that transition between the second, third, and the last third chat before we get to the big fight scene, I'll say. And then again, at the end of the day, like the real threat of the movie, chat, is evil itself. That's behind a big fucking red scaly door, and we can't let the evil out because it'll be sucking up everyone's souls. And if it gets too many souls, if it gets a specific amount of souls or one big motherfucker soul, then we're all getting soul sucked. The universe is going to be destroyed. Like, it's literally a universe-ending threat. Like, we're all going to die unless, we do these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And it's like, all right. So is that good? Now, what happens is, like, how that showcase and how we see it and, isolated from the, the story itself is just, this is visually really cool. I kind of dig this. But yeah, I mean, it's evil versus evil. It's evil versus evil. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I think it was really fun. It's definitely a solid Marvel origin story, introducing a cool character, introducing like a new world that we haven't seen in the MCU, which I think is cool. I mean, it's incorporating the subgenre, the genre of kung fu movies, of mixed martial arts films, and so I really liked it for that. So you're saying is he about to get his soul sucked? Yes, I love it when he's sucking souls. Goddamn right. Fucking Cabal should have been there. I mean, like, I love it when he's sucking souls. He loves that shit. But yeah, no, I dug the film a lot. I think it's a good time. I think it's worth seeing in the theater. If I had to give it like a rating on the double dose, I think I'd be like a high matinee. I think if they I don't hate the third act like some people do, but it's not. It could be better, and they could fix the pacing as we lead into that third act. And I think had they just kept it really just focused on, because so much of this movie is about the Shang-Chi's family, about his relationship. We haven't even mentioned like with his sister. I will say the sister, not really all that charismatic, because I didn't mention her at all. Played by Menger Zhan as Zhu Zhiling. Zhu Zhen? I can't say her name. Zhu. Yeah, she just didn't stand out for me at all in the movie. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, she's kind of doing her own thing. She's like a little Mandarin, chat. That's kind of what she is. What she strives to be. But yeah, I don't know. Like they're like, no, it's about family. Like, honestly, like the whole relationship, like once they're all together, I will say that's when this actress shines, when we bring in Tony Leung, and when they're just talking to each other, because that's the crux of the movie. It's about family and dealing with legacy, and how you're not always defined by your parents, but you can take the best of them and use that for yourself and to become a better person, not to make the same mistakes, just to learn from that, but also, trying to reach out to those who may have hurt you in the past. Like, that is a good message about family. I really like that about the movie, and I think that third act just really focused on this instead of the evil. Even if the evil was cool looking and we had a cool action scene, like had they kept it like a little more grounded, I think it would have been a lot better. Because I will say this: there is a wasted thing. There's a wasted thing. I'm like, I wish you didn't do that. I wish you didn't do that, because it would have been cool to see how that would evolve later on in the MCU. But they do fucking waste something, and I'm like, I wish you didn't do that. That's all I'll say. Bilbo Baggins on the 8th Paul. Thank you for talking about Baby's Juice. Where would you rank it compared to BP? Black Panther? Oh, I think Black Panther's better. No, but as I said, I give this like a high matinee. It's a high matinee. It's really enjoyable. You know, I think I'm curious what you think it wasted. See, I don't want to say because it's a huge spoiler. It's a huge spoiler. All I'll say is it's right at the end of the third act before big monster. That's all I'll say. How's Michelle Yeoh? She's fine. She's doing Michelle Yeoh. I mean, she's like, hi, I'm Michelle Yeoh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you with a whole bunch of exposition. I'm just going to tell you shit. And I'm also going to make you the last airbender. You want to learn airbending? Boom, I got you. That's all she does. That's all she does in the movie. That's why I didn't bring her up. She's like, yeah, you know, I'm a holdover from a lot of great kung fu movies from the 80s and 90s and 2000s and 2010s. I'm here. That's all she really does. How the duck is Mephisto? Definitely. You know, she's just, you know. She's not nothing special. She's not doing a bad job. She's just there. So that's for me. I can now remember. That's what it does. She's like, apparently if you, the movie does cut some corners, and it's like, apparently if you just hang out in this magic land for like a day, you will become an airbender or an expert fucking marksman. You will be the greatest archer in the world. Move over, fucking Hawkeye. All right? You spent your entire life training with the bow and arrow. Well, this girl, she trained for a fucking day. And she could use that bow and arrow like no one's business. And I'm like, all right. Okay. I was like, okay, sure. I guess this is the magic aura of this dimension we're in. So that was a corner they cut. I thought that was pretty fucking funny. It's going to be the first movie I see since 2019. Wow, really, 2019. Might actually hope the MC never actually Mephisto. I hope they do. Oh, Eternal's better below our minds because Black Widow wasn't that good either. Marvel needs a home run again. I didn't hate Black Widow. I mean, I think I gave the movie a low matinee. What did I give that movie? Like a matinee or low matinee? I think this third act is better than Black Widow's third act. Oh, and of course, you know, the Mandarin, Wenwu, Tony Leung is infinitely better as a villain than fucking Taskmaster. I mean, that's no question. That's no question, chat. You know, like this movie, I think this movie, like there's a lot of things I like about Black Widow. Again, I like Scarlett Johansson. I think Florence Pugh is great. I love David Harbour in the film. You know, there's some really well choreographed action scenes in that movie. It's just I didn't like the whole plot and the widows and Taskmaster and all that bullshit. That didn't work for me. Whereas this movie, you know, it has some problems. It definitely has some problems, but I think it's better. It has some pacing issues again between the second and third act, and you know the third act had, even though I thought it was cool to look at, just, you know, it's just generic evil, and they waste something. I wish they didn't waste something because it's like, I want to see more of this in the future, and you kind of got rid of it, and it's like, I don't do that, Marvel. Why don't do that? Don't do that. Razor Fist is better. Razor Fist was fun. I like Razor Fist. He's just a big burly Romanian guy with literally he got a little stump, and he has got this thing, and this fucking flaming hot machete shoots out. He's pretty cool. I liked him. Like when the Soviet Simpsons was disappointing. The Soviet Simpsons. I love Shang-Chi's sister, though. She is the epitome of girl boss to me. I should have been the Asian Black Widow, you know. I don't know. I mean, what she's doing was cool. Like, there's no doubt about, like, her actions were awesome. I forgot the fucking weapon she's using, but the one that has, like, an arrowhead, and she's throwing it, and it's on a rope, and it's all swirling. That's all really cool to watch, and she's good in the action scenes. But something about her character, they really speak to me. Didn't stand out. That's not really a villain, Black Widow, more of a, yeah, it's a henchman. Yeah. Lately, I'm racking my brain on what you're referring to now. Yeah. I don't want to say because it's a big fucking spoiler. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Or is it only a throwaway character now? Yeah. They do some fun stuff with Razor Fist. How does this movie compare to the Suicide Squad? Oh, the Suicide Squad's better. Like, if I had to rank, like, the big superhero films of this year so far, yeah, definitely the Suicide Squad. I mean, that's a high full price for me. That's a full price. What would I give that? Full price? It's a full price movie, high full price. I mean, I really enjoyed that film a lot. Like, that's a special. That's the kind of comic movie I'm like, this kind of stands out. That kind of stands out to me. So, yeah, the Suicide Squad, definitely number one. No question. I've seen that movie like 3 times already, and I'm going to buy it. That's a movie, like, if I had to think, like, what movies, because I typically, like, there's like about 10 movies, you know, within a year. I'm like, okay, these are the films I'm like, I don't mind buying Blu-rays for just to have. That one I'm gonna fucking buy. Shang-Chi, really liked it, gave it a high matinee. Maybe I would buy it. I don't know. We'll see. But I liked it. I like, yeah, high matinee. And Black Widow, I think I give like a low matinee. It's a low matinee. Not awful, but it makes it, you know, it stumbles. It stumbles in you know, in how it handles some characters in the third act and things. And just overall story and the Black Widow, you know, gas. Black Widow gas. Pocket sand attack. I'm normal again. So, you know, it's got on Netflix eventually. I hope you'll love that movie. Good. The Suicide Squad is just really better. Sexy. I get it. Actress first acting, so that's for him to get better. Okay, so that's why. Because I'm looking at her Wikipedia, and her name is not highlighted, and so yeah, she's not bad. She's just kind of, she's like Michelle Yeoh in the movie. She's like, I'm in the movie too, and it's like, cool. Anyway, that's just me though. I was going to see gives her more to do. I didn't see it, but I can guess what it is. Let me see. Okay. I'm on Wikipedia and I already said what it is. Okay, that makes sense. They do establish that I don't want to say anything because it's a spoiler. But I was like, that makes sense for that character to do that thing. Yeah, do not go on Wikipedia chat. Do not read the last sentence of the plot because it's a big fucking spoiler. What they did to Taskmaster made it not worth it. Yeah, I mean, no, it was disappointing because Taskmaster is a really fun character. Yeah, it was a shame. But overall, chat, no, for Shang-Chi, really enjoyed it. He's a fine addition to the MCU. I want to see more of him. I want to see more of him and also Awkwafina's KD. I want their dynamic in the future. I think that'll be really, really cool to see more of that. Yeah, that's all I can really say. But yeah, high matinee chat. Really enjoyed the movie. Ray Stones wasn't even trying. Oh yeah, Ray Stone's he's always like a combination of I'm British, I'm American, I'm Russian, I'm Spanish. It's like he's going all over the place with that accent. Yeah. Shrek welcome back. There's another post-credit scene. Yes, there is. There's two. There's one which takes place after the main animated credits, and then there's a final credit sequence which is after all the credits. As far as I know, that's what happens. And I did not stay for the last one, but I did stay for the first one, which I thought that was cool, and it sets something up that's cool, chat. I hope to see in a new MCU movie. I'm like, okay, what the hell is this all about? What's this all about? And it's also funny. It's also pretty funny. Yeah. Also, that you were trying to be nice to Chris of his accent first, but then Martin just said, "Man, fuck him." Y'all started going hard. I'm not spoiling. No, I ain't spoiling nothing. No. This is just a regular old review. I encourage hey, go see it in the theater. I think you'll have a fun time. Watching this, Joe. And yeah, the next Marvel movie. So No Way Home. We have that one in December. But the next Marvel movie that we're getting, Chad, is Eternals, which is going to be very interesting. Because again, don't really know what that's about. So that is one I'm very unfamiliar. Like, I don't know any of these fucking people at all. But hey, I'm going with literally zero expectations. So entertain me, Marvel. But I will say there was a notable difference between audience reaction today when I went to the theater for Eternals and Spider-Man. People going, people are like, Eternals are like, all right. People like for Spider-Man, like, oh my God, it's Dr. Octopus. I mean, they were getting hot. They were getting hot and bothered about Doc Ock, chat about that goblin bomb. People just like fucking Tom Holland, too. He's just cute. Witness me. Double toasted. Thank you for the raid. The chat attack. Nick Diaz with the raid chat. Please do check out the chat attack. Nick Diaz, one of the backbones. DD me, make sure the goddamn was the goddamn car. Good to see you, Nick. Hope you're doing very well. Welcome. I'm just doing my Shang-Chi review. Not, non-spoilers, of course. No spoilers at all. Just doing my regular review. Talking about what I liked the movie, what I didn't like the movie, what I thought was kind of mixed on. Overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie a lot. Giving a high matinee on the double toasted DT scale, my friend. Nick, you guys doing great, man. Was just watching you do. Thank you. Appreciate that. Look, I'm still holding on to the Tom McGuire. Oh, no. They're not going to just be cameos. They're going to be full roles. They're going to be full roles in that movie. That's what I think. I mean, you'll probably get like little scenes of them in the next trailer or something, but no, they're going to have they're going to be actual characters in the film. I think they're going to be doing a lot with them. No, he has it's nostalgia, but goddamn right. I understand. Lee Turtles will be this phase as Thor the Dark World. I mean, it definitely, you never want to be that. You never want to be Thor the Dark World. I will say its color palette is reminiscent of Thor the Dark. It's just very gray. Everything's, honestly, the Eternals aesthetically looks like a Zack Snyder movie, or just his color palette. Like, I don't really want to use light. I just want to use blue and gray. It's very weird. It's just very weird. I know that the director is like adamant about using natural light, and you can tell, because everything just feels so washed out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know she won an Academy Award. Everyone's, big fan, but I didn't see it. I don't know. So because all the Raimi film cameos, this Spider-Verse shit really makes me nervous about no. I was nervous. Listen, like you, I was nervous at first. I was very skeptical, but after seeing it, I'm like, okay, this looks like it's gonna be some fun. I'm hoping for the best. Except Zack Snyder shoots with color and then washes out. Oh, is that what happens? Interesting. That's fucking weird. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. They're in a laundromat again, just how the director. That's not. She loves laundromats. She's like, yes. Nothing says sadness like a shitty laundromat that was established in the 1970s or 80s. She's all about that fucking shit. But McGuire needs to show up and create Bully Garfield and Bully. Yes, I agree with that. That needs to happen. Maybe they'll pull like different versions of their characters from different universes. We'll see. Yeah. I think it's gonna be great. It looks like the stakes are high. Yeah, it does. I mean, people were visibly excited watching that trailer. I could tell. People were like, "Whoa, that's awesome." They were like, I just felt it in the room. You like potato? Yeah, I haven't had potato skins in a while, but I like potato skins. Hell yeah, potato skins are great. A little bit of sour cream on there. Get them chives. Get some cheeses, multiple cheeses. Maybe some little bit of bacon. Hell yeah, potato skins are great. Also, I'm just worried about Sony putting the cart before the horse again. They keep trying to make fetch Sinister Six. Oh no, I agree with you. I mean, Sony's their own worst enemy. They constantly get. No, I agree. Venom is awful. Venom is a piece of shit. I'm not really expecting Morbius or Venom 2 to be any good, but we'll see. I'm going to start saying, itsy bitsy spider crawls down the water spout. Down came the goblin to take the spider out. I love it. Chris Harris got the bye, buddies. You have a look at the behind the scenes stuff, them shooting scenes with Superman, you can clearly see the red, blue, and yellow on the costume. But in the finished movie, there's scenes where the suit looks straight up black. Yeah, Zach loves his lack of color. Blue and gray. His favorite colors, chat. But chat, that was my review for Shang-Chi. We are now going to be delving into the watch party.